I wanted to just play something because I was reminded of this today that he said back in 2023 and then talk to you about it on the other side.
It's easy to blame the media, but I do blame them because they do nothing but criticize us. And so they have really eroded trust in the court.
I mean, it's pretty rich, given his actions and his own words. It's not the first time he's blamed someone else, his wife, everyone attacking him. What is that about? And you were talking about accountability. So I also want to ask you kind of people watching out there, what should they be doing if they're just outraged about this as well?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I find this so just really mortifying. I'm embarrassed for the court. We hear it with Clarence Thomas as well when he talks about the nastiness in Washington, D.C. And we hear it with Alito. You know, it is the media that has eroded trust in the Supreme Court. No, it is the Supreme Court that has eroded trust in the Supreme Court. And this kind of teenage refusal to take responsibility for their own actions is really incredibly alarming and disturbing. And I put that at the feet of Chief Justice Roberts. He is running the court. You know, if I were running an institution and something extraordinary happened, as happened in the Dobbs case, which is that something that never happened before in the history of the court, a decision was leaked out to the public. I wouldn't just be trying to get to the bottom of who leaked it as vigorously as possible. I would want to understand what I created or what we created in our culture that encouraged such a breach of culture and protocol. All of these things should require the court to self-reflect, to look at themselves. Why do you have a justice on the court like Clarence Thomas who is not making the appropriate disclosures? We know they're appropriate because he's making them now that he's been found out. So this has nothing to do with the media. The media is doing its job. And in fact, the media has often been quite kind to the Supreme Court, including around this flag issue, which we didn't hear about until 3 years late. It's not the media. And these justices have to grow up, stop being stubborn teenagers, and take responsibility for their own actions. And this is where the leadership of the chief comes in. And when the chief allows a code of conduct, a voluntary code, as he allowed several months ago, a code so much weaker than the code that holds all other federal judges, he is essentially allowing and creating this culture of impunity in which they create rules that accommodate the actions they've already taken. So we have a real problem, an ethical problem on the Supreme Court. To be honest with you, Jen, I blame us. I blame Congress. We have failed. We have counted on the good behavior and the norms of the Supreme Court instead of putting in place real rules that they have to follow. And Congress does have the power to be able to issue a code of ethics for the United States Supreme Court, and they should do so.